Hello, I'm Luke. This is another stream while I do some stuff on with this old LC Mac Power Supply. If you missed my last stream when I was testing this whole thing out, I pulled apart this little Macintosh LC Power Supply and removed a whole bunch of leaky caps from it, which are currently in this bottom of a plastic container. They were pretty screwed, these capacitors. Let me just turn on my other camera and I will show you what I mean. So yeah, like some of them were okay. That one's actually not too bad. But yeah, they actually don't look too bad now when I look at them now. But I think they've just cleaned some of the stuff off them. Yeah, that one's pretty bad. So yeah, that's hopefully what is causing this LC power supply not to work. That's my current working theory because, yeah, like I said, a few of them were pretty bad. There was quite a lot of cap juice on this PCB. So I am keen to put some new ones on here today and then test it out and see if it works. And that's what we'll be doing. So one thing I've already got, I've got a selection of the capacitors I actually need here to go on the board. And the only ones I don't have are these two here. So I'm just going to show something on my screen for a second. Let me just bring up this website. Okay. Yep, there we go. So I'm at Bruce's website, which is recapamac.com.au. If you need the URL, I think I have something here which I can put up. There we go. This is a really great website. I think I mentioned this in my last post. It has a stack of different recapping guides that Bruce does in his own stream there. So it's a really good resource to use and certainly bookmark and keep it handy. The one I obviously need is for this one, which is the Macintosh LC Power Supply. Okay. And this is our bit of a guide on the capacitors needed. Now, Bruce obviously advises here these two aren't necessarily needing to be replaced. Looking at the actual capacitors in question, they definitely, in other ones that I've repaired, definitely don't normally leak. I've replaced this one, this smaller one, which is the 8.2 microfarad 50 volt one. Before, I just don't have any of them in stock at the moment, so I can't do that one. And these ones, these big ones, which are normally, I think, high voltage as well. Yeah, this one's a, what's that? It's 385 megavolts. I actually don't know what the WV stands for. Anyway, that one, they're generally quite expensive to replace. So I only generally replace those if you really, really need to. I think given these are all the ones that I pulled off last time, I'm just going to switch that back over to the other view. And take that off. Yeah, these ones here were the ones I removed in the last stream. So they're the ones I'm going to put back in today, and then we'll test it out and see whether it actually works. This power supply had no sign of life when I last tested it. Effectively, the only sign of life that it had, that anything was working in it, was that it got slightly warm, but definitely didn't start the computer. And probably not a good sign that it was getting hot. So on that count, I'm just going to turn my soldering iron on, which is over here. I just need to move it out of the way and get that warmed up. And we'll then just have a look and see which ones we want to do first. I think I'm going to start up in this top corner up here and then work my way down. All right, so if I just sort through, I'm just going to move these old capacitors out of the way. So we've got the 270 microfarad 25 volt, which is that one there. Another 270, but a 10 volt. Where are we? What's this one? I can't read that. That's 25 volts as well. That one needs to go down in that part over there. I'm just referring to Bruce's guide while I look this, just map them out a bit. 1000. They're the 2000 ones by the looks of it. 10 volts? Is it 10 volts? Yes, so they're those two middle ones. Must be this one. Oh, hold on. Oh, we need 3. Okay, 3000 ones, yep. Okay. Oh, this is the 270 10 volt one there. We've got our 3000 ones there that we need. This little tiny one here is a 56. And that must leave us with this one that just rolled away over here. That is a 4725. Okay. That one goes there, and that one's up there. All right. So, to start, 270, 25 volts. All right. Just need to have a look and see where our negative is on this. Just need to shine some extra light on this for a second. Okay, so looking at this power supply, it looks like the negative LEDs are indicated by, if you can see, the little white marks on the PCB. So that is where our negative side needs to go. So we've got a negative stripe down this side here. So we'll pop him in there like that. And that hole is not freed up. What's going on there? That hole looks like it's got something in it. Let's just put some flux on there. Just heat it up. Must have a bit of solder. Well, that hole is not very forgiving at all. Oh, there we go. Okay. So just pop that one in there. I'm just going to slightly bend it a little bit. I don't like bending them too much because it makes them harder to get back out later on, and don't want to create that pain at some point in the future. Now I'm just going to solder this in. I've already got a bit of flux on there from when I just put that there a minute ago. So just solder one of them in first. There we go. Then what I just do is I normally just hold that up there, heat that one back up again that I just did, and then push it in from the other side so that I have it nicely flush with the PCB now that it's got one leg holding it down. I feel like I need to wash this board a little bit more with some alcohol as well because it smells still a bit cap juicy. Okay. I've got a little fan here. I'm just going to turn this on over this side just to blow the smoke away from me. Okay, that's one done. And we'll just chop his legs off. One done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go. All right, next one down is our 270. Yeah, that one just went to escape. 270 10 volt. I can't get this. Yeah, there we go. The cardboard would not come off that leg. All right. So we'll just pop him down in that spot there. Push him down. Just double check that, make sure I had that correct. And I just realized I need to put my glasses on because I am struggling to see this properly. That will help. Yes, there we go. Okay. All right, so we'll just put a bit of flux on this as well. And just heat up the first one. Okay, and same as what I did last time, I'm just going to push that in while I heat him up again. And then we'll just do the second one. Okay, I'm just going to do that again because this one didn't really take very well. Okay. I guess you're going to bring that one up and look at it under the microscope because I'm just concerned that there is a little bit too much cap juice maybe still left on that board that I haven't cleaned off properly. Let me just change cameras for a second. And that should hopefully be showing up. It's a big blurry black thing. There we go. But let's bring that over here. And we'll just focus that up properly. Okay, so where is it? Yeah. It definitely must have still been some capacitor juice in that hole, I think, because it's giving me a very strong smell. I'm just going to clean that while I'm here. It's hard to tell. Some of that looks like flux, though. No, I'll just clean that with a Q-tip. Yeah. Q-tip is leaving all its crap all over it. It's hard to get into this because it's such a tight little spot. Anyway, regardless, looking at that now, they look both pretty good. So we'll just chop that off. And I'll just have another go now that I've done that at cleaning that a little bit more. Oops, I just cleaned the wrong one. I cleaned the first one that I did. I just cleaned that one. Anyway, that's not too bad. It needed a bit of a spruce up anyway. I just can't quite get... It's destroying my Q-tip. These Q-tips are actually quite good. I generally find these ones come from Aldi. They don't generally leave too much stuff, but because of all the little pointy bits on this one board, it is definitely leaving bits of it behind. All right. Ooh, bright light. Okay. So, oh, lost my alcohol. Here it is there. Now just another go. There we go. That'll do for the moment on that one. All right. Let me just turn that back over so you can see that. So we've got these two now done. Now on to these big ones. So I'm just going to go back and look at the guide. These two are 1,000, these two here, 1,010 volts. So we've got these two capacitors ready to go. Interesting enough, these newer ones are much smaller than the originals. They're going to put both of these in at the same time. Make sure the negative is pointing the right way. Doesn't quite go flush all the way because the holes are a little bit too wide for these newer capacitors, but it's sitting in there nice and firm. So all right, put a bit of flux on this as well. And now we solder. One done. Two done. Three done. And four. They all look pretty good. I think it was stuck to my fingers. Just clean this off with a bit of isopropyl alcohol. And there we go. Oh, if I wanted to nitpick that, I've made one slightly higher than the other. I'm going to do that. I didn't push that in all the way, I don't think. I'm just going to heat that back up again. Just give it a bit of a push more. Oh yeah, there you go. I just felt it go in. Both pretty flat now. I'm not going to bother trimming those anymore, those legs, than what they already are, because they're pretty much the same length as everything else on the board. All right. Next one, let's do the other 1,000 while we're here doing these beasties. So it goes in that big spot there. Push him all the way down. Why can't I find it? There we go. It's up here. There we go. A bit of flux to start that off. There we go. And solder on. And solder that one. Yep, a loomy. Just cut those off. And we'll now just clean that one up while we're here. There you go, good as new. And now that one's in. All right, so now we need to do this C54. C54 is a 270 25 volts. 270 25 volts, which is basically the same as this one up here. All right, so we'll just put him in. It's funny when I look at this screen, it just, and then I actually go back and look at the circuit board. It's funny how everything suddenly is very much smaller than I'm actually getting on my screen in front of me right here. All right. Heat that up. There we go. That one's done. And that one's done. Happy with that. Throw that in my growing pile of Q-tips that I've used. And now we'll just give it a bit of a clean. There's multiple ways you can do the cleaning side of things. Like I generally try to clean as I go because it's kind of like cooking. I clean as I go when I'm cooking because it just makes it easier and doesn't give you a big mess that you have to clean up afterwards. But equally, sometimes it's better to batch things up and do it all together. Or like in some cases, use an ultrasonic cleaner as well. That helps to do this quite a lot. It just helps the whole cleanup process. All right. Where are we got here now? What? Oh, I'm missing. I feel like I'm missing one there. Oh, I just realized I've never removed this one. That's still an original one. This one here is still an original capacitor that I didn't remove last time. I don't know how I missed that. Okay, I just need to work out where he is. Okay, there's those two there. I was just trying to work that out because I was just looking at it thinking I have only one more spot left for a capacitor to go, and there's two more capacitors there. Oh, I've lost my solder wick. Where did that go? I have lost my solder wick somewhere under something. Is it up here? Well, that's a pain. Oh, there it is. It's hiding behind my cup of tea. Speaking of which, I'm going to have a drink of my cup of tea. Earl Grey for this time of the day. All right, let's rip this off. Push that through. There we go. I feel like this one's been leaking as well because it smells. Oh, he's definitely been leaking. First of all, let's have a look at that. That is one leaking capacitor. It leaked all of its stuff everywhere. So goodbye to that. And if we have a look on the board where it was, here's the evidence. Right there. I'll just put my light a bit brighter on there. quite a bit has leaked there. So we'll just clean that off. And she's pretty dry. It's obviously leaked a long, long time ago. I think I said in my last stream about this, I bought this LC off someone up in regional Victoria. When I went and picked it up from him, he just moved into his new house and had it just in a box in his shed. I don't think it had been used for years and years and years. I think it used to be his sister's, I think he said. I think they may have tried to turn it on, but obviously it didn't work. As I said, this thing had no power. When you tried to turn it on, it was dead as a doornail. That's very blurry. But hopefully this will work. I think I mentioned this last time. I verified it that the actual computer itself was okay, although it needs a recap. Like seriously, that's the next task to do. It makes a lot of noise when you turn that computer on. It like actually effectively screams through the speaker, which I've seen on a few that I've done before. Anyway, that's now nice and clean. All right, so that one was the 5625. Blurry again. Oh, funny that. Capacitor 56, it's actually capacitor 56, and it's a 56 microfarad. That's a strange set of circumstances. All right, so this one's got its negative facing different direction to everyone else's, just to be slightly different. So here's a nice little short stubby one. No, I need to bend this one slightly. I'm just going to now heat one of the levers up. There we go. Now I'm just going to put my finger underneath here, wherever it is. Eesh. Sorry, I know that's blurry. Let me just... There we go. One much less leaky cap installed. Just clean this. Oh, where was my capacitor? There it is there. All right. And that's now got that one nice and clean. So now we just need to put our last one in. Capacitor 60, which is the 4720 25 volts. So 47 microfarads, 25 volts. Again, this capacity is quite small in contrast to what was here before. So he's going to have to sit at a bit of a jaunty angle, like if I can focus that, like that. I'm just going to do this on the side for a second so that it doesn't go in any further than I need it to. There we go. All right. Last one here. Okay, good. All nicely done. Now I'll just give him a bit of a clean as well. All right. That is all of them. Now we'll just do a bit of a double check in to make sure we've got all the negatives in the right way. So negative pointing down is correct there. Pointing down is correct here. Down, down there, yes. Down this way, yes, down that way. This one goes to the left just to be different, as does this one to be different. Woohoo. So that's all of them. I'm just going to switch my camera back now to the non-microscope view. And we'll get that out of the way. Yeah. I'm breaking the microscope. All right, we're in. Let me just zoom this in a bit more. So all of our capacitors are now in there. They are all correct orientation. So I'm just going to turn my attention quickly to this case. I'm going to try and clean that, whatever that is. And I nearly fell off my chair. Somewhere I've got some paper towel down here. Yeah, I'm dropping stuff everywhere. All right. And what's happened with that? When I first saw this, I honestly thought that this was going to be horrendously rusted inside. But it's not. like no sign of rust at all. Let's give this a bit of a clean. Definitely something happened with it. It kind of looks like it's got the start potentially of rusting out eventually, maybe. That is the top cover. The bottom one is a little bit dirty inside as well, so we'll just give that a bit of a spritz. Add some alcohol and just wipe it out. And now we need to work out how to put this back together again so we can test it. The last time we verified that capacitor was, sorry, that resistor, wrong, resistor is the wrong word. Fuse, is the word I'm looking for, was fine. So we just basically need to reattach our 240 volt power cords from this plug back into here. And brown and blue according to the what is printed on the PCB. Which would fit that way. It's kind of awkward to do. I'm just going to have to turn this like this, put this on its side, I think. And let's start with the blue one because that's the first one. There we go. I will just also point out, I think I said this last time, but if you don't know what you're doing with these power supplies, do not pull them apart. Because if it goes wrong, you will get a nasty shock out of them. This one had been off for quite a long time, and otherwise I would have discharged some of the capacitors on it. All right, blue one's in. Now I'll do the brown one as well. Okay, brown and blue in the correct spaces. Excellent. I'm just going to trim that a little bit because it's quite long and I have pushed that a bit further than it probably was originally through. And now what we'll just do is we'll just clean that as well. A bit of alcohol again. All right. So now, if memory serves me correctly, I am missing the cover. This is what memory serves me correctly. This needs to go on here. Where does that go? Let's go that way. Does it go that way? It's got to go that way. Oh, does it go that way? Yeah, that goes that way. I feel like I put that on the wrong way. No, it has to go that way. It's only one way it can go. Now, I'm going to very confidently put this all back together again, but this could all come unstuck if this does not work. That plastic thing, oh, it has to go that way. It's the only way that can go on there. Okay, so I can't get that in. How does that work? That goes in there. I was looking at this last night to make sure I remember how to do this, and I feel like yeah, that definitely works. That's the way it goes. I think I just need to finagle this some more. I'm just going to take that off for a second because I just want to see. Yeah, that's the way it sits in there like that. Okay, but I need this plastic thing on there. Which I feel like if I put that in there first, maybe that might be the ticket to how to do this. Fit in there. Yeah. Let's see why. There's a plastic. There's a bit of metal. There we go. That. There we go. All right. Oh, bloody was an effort. All right. The plastic thing's in the right spot. So now, in theory, I should just be able to drop this down. And that is now in the right spot as well. And then this goes in here like this. That was a bit of effort, but we got there in the end. I'm going to just do is I need some paste because there was paste on there before. I think I have some over here. I've got some heatsink compound, which has been leaking in the bag. It's very helpful. Just see whether this is going to work. I feel like I need to get some new stuff because this stuff is starting to get a bit old. Oh, it'll work. All right, I'm just going to put a bit of that. Just a bit along here, which I think is the area that obviously it had it before. And now I've got that all over my fingers. All right. So now we'll just insert this top piece. And we got that right. Where does that? Okay, next problem. This cord, I think needs to come out of this hole here. So it needs to go in there like that and come out through that hole there. Oh, now I've just got the paste all over my fingers again. The last time I did this, I don't remember this being so complicated. There we go. There we go. This wasn't sitting flush. All right, so now we'll put this bit on. Now that's coming out of that hole. That looks better. Sure, this is riveting viewing, watching me do this. There we go. Oh, we're in. Whoa. Cord is out. This will all be very disappointing if this doesn't work. So now we'll just put these screws back in. All the screws that I pulled out of here the other time when I did this, they all look roughly the same. So I don't think it actually matters too much which screw goes where because they're all the same. And the big compound's definitely working there because it's a bit of it squeezed out. So I'll probably put a bit too much in there. 3 more screws. I think I need to loosen that other one up. I did them too tight, too early, and there's still a bit of maneuvering needed. Maneuvering has not succeeded. I just need my white down a bit tighter on this for a second. Let's see what I'm doing. Oh, it's not quite aligned. I very much hope I don't need to pull this thing apart again, because I'm not enjoying the experience of putting it back together again. I actually think I stuffed up. I think I see what I did wrong. This bit here should have been inside and it was outside. So I should have been down like that. I think. Well, maybe not. Oh yeah, no, that works. Yeah, I think that actually makes it line up probably much better than it was before. Yep, there we go. Straight in. So there's a tip. That flap, when it focuses, needs to be inside these metals, not outside. Otherwise, those two screws do not align. And I now have heat compound everywhere. Oh, forgot that. All right. Pull this thing. When did that end up inside it? I have to watch this back afterwards and see where the hell I actually forgot to put that bit of plastic in. All right. Come out. All right. That needs to go there at some point. I pulled that off. And we'll try again. Push that in there. On the plus side, if I do have to pull this part again, I now know how to do it. Although I'm being confident, I don't want to pull this apart again. I want this to work. All right, she's squished in. Everything is where it needs to be. And again, screw these two in. That one's in. That one's in. I'm just going to have to clean the outside of this again in a minute because I have heat compound all over it now because I've been handling it all over the place. One more screw to go, which is this one up the end here. So we'll just get another bit of cloth. Spray some alcohol on that. And just wipe down the sides of it. Fan is blowing everything away, and I just realized I don't need my fan on anymore. So that can go over there. All right. One clean, put back together power supply. I feel like this definitely, like, obviously some of that corrosion come back through the cord because I can see green in these plugs. You often find it when the capacitors leak. It sort of travels up the wire and then corrodes these sort of connectors. Hopefully not negatively impacting that because I do not have any spares of this. But we'll see. Let's get my multimeter ready so we can potentially do some testing of this. Okay. That looks good. Just hold on 1 second. All right. Power cord. Now, obviously, again, we're going to introduce voltage to this. Make sure you know what you're doing before you turn things on like this. My power cord is turned off, and this is turned off. I'll just plug it in. I'm just going to try it without that switch being on first and just see whether anything happens. I'm going to test this first without being in the computer because I just want to see whether the power supply works. And I don't want it to potentially damage the computer if it's going to blow off on me. So 1, 2, 3, on. Right, nothing, that's a good sign. So now we'll just switch this on and we'll try again. 1, 2, 3, on. No sign of anything nasty. All right, so we're getting 5.3 volts on this orange wire, 12.2 volts on this yellow one, and negative, fluctuating a bit, but probably because it's not in an actual computer at the moment, negative 3.4. I am going to be pretty confident and say this power supply is now fixed because Although that voltage has dropped down now, but that might just be because it's... Oh, there we go. No. I realize that's upside down. Let me turn that around. So there we go, 5.2 on this orange wire, 12.5, which is what we want. We want a 5 and a 12 volts. Again, it's no load on it, so those voltages will probably steady up and become whatever they're supposed to be inside the computer, which would be a nice solid 12 volts and 12 and 5 volts. And I assume this one's supposed to be negative 5 volts. I'd have to look up the specs. What does it say here? Yeah, negative 5. So it's got plus 5, negative 5, plus 12. Woohoo. So let's turn that off. Turn it back off with the switch. Now what we're going to do is get the actual computer. So we'll remove that camera from there. We'll take these glasses off for a second. Put that light back up there a bit. There we go. I'm just going to angle this down a bit so we've got a bit more of a bench view. I need to get another camera. There we go. That will do. All right, now I've got the computer over here. Ta-da! Macintosh LC. Remove the power cable. Very carefully remove these because this case hasn't any broken plastics, although I think the LC is one of the ones that was sort of the last ones before Apple introduced their plastics that now are hideously brittle. So that's my next task, really, is to replace all these capacitors, which I'll do on a stream at some point soon. Like I said, it's actually, I've cleaned these all up already, just because there was quite a bit of crud all over the board. This one's weird. Look at that. It's got a big-ass capacitor on that one. What the hell was that done like that for? That's weird. I'm just going to add that other one back in, view back in for a second. And I'm just going to go and show my screen. So that's our power supply. Where is the LC? No, that's the LC2. Oops, it's just... Here we go. And here it's next to... I don't know why, but this board, this capacitor here, which is like a 47 microfarad 16 volt, is a different capacitor on here. That's bizarre. The one that's on here is a 2200 microfarad 16 volt. Otherwise it looks the same. That's quite odd. I will do some more research on that before I do that. But yeah, what I'm talking about here is this one here. Let me just change my view back to this view. Bring that up there like that. Where are we? Yeah, this big ass capacitor here. Look at it. Good. Oh, where's my camera? There we go. If you watch this and you know why a board has that, feel free to leave me a comment and tell me why, because I'd love to know. I've not seen that before. I've done a couple of LCs before and never seen that before. Okay. Anyway, that's not what we're doing today. Let's get this show on the road and see whether this thing can turn the computer on. Insert a power supply in there and plug it in. All right, I don't have a monitor set up to be able to see what this is doing, but hopefully the speaker is all connected, so we should get a chime, which is what we want to hear. And if memory serves me correctly, the rest of this computer will make some other hideous noises, but it may not do that because I think it does that after a little while when it's warmed up. So we'll give it power. And now switching it on. 1, 2, 3, go. And there we go. That was a chime, 2 chimes. Oh, a sad Mac chime now. It's interesting. The last time I booted this computer, it actually did boot up. And then we'll just check our voltages. Oh, here comes that noise. I don't know whether you can hear that on the microphone. But it's starting to make its noise. All right. Let's do some voltage checks on this. So that one and that one. All right, so nice solid negative 5 volts. That's what we want to see there. 11.9 volts. Oh, it's rebooting. It's weird. And 5.1 volts. So this is an immense improvement over what this power supply was doing before, which was nothing. The speaker's making a lot of noise. Again, I don't know whether you can hear that, but it's whining. The hard drive is not spinning at all. I think I managed to get that hard drive to spin last time, but I had to sort of give it a bit of a shake. Oh, hold on. Hard drive's not even plugged in. That would be why. I'll just try that again. Oh, there we go. Hard drive spinning. We're not getting a chime now, though. That might be, though, because like I said, I think there's some badness going on with the capacitors on this logic board, so I'm not going to necessarily take that. It definitely shined before, so I'll just unplug that power for a second and then plug it back in, and we'll try again. Yeah, it's definitely, I think it's trying to boot, but I think the oh, I think it's having dramas. I will afterwards. I'll just check this out and plug it in with the screen. I just don't have my VGA stuff set up to be able to test this out. So I'm going to turn it on now without the hard drive connected again. Yeah. All right. That is enough for today, I think. We have it powering up the computer. That is 100% better than it was. It did shine, but I think this logic board needs a fair bit of work. So that's the next task, really, to get this beastie going properly. But that is not for today because I now need to go and NF some dick. So that'll do me. Hopefully that's been slightly entertaining. 1 hour and 19 minutes of me stuffing around with the power supply, but hey, it worked. And that's now booting the computer. And then next time we'll do some work on this logic board and see what we can do about that. That is all for today. Feel free if you want to follow me or do look at the stuff, that URL there, down there, will take you to my YouTube channel. Feel free to like the video. Feel free to give me any suggestions as well. And otherwise, that is it for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Till next time. See you later. Bye.